Hello, Collective, and welcome to Tarot Parlor. I'm so glad you've tuned in or tuned back in. Thank you for subscribing and liking my channel. I really appreciate it. Today we are going to be doing a psychic sketch interpretation video. So as you can see here, I've got my sketchbook. I've gone over some sketches that, I've put down some sketches of images that I've received in downloads the past couple days. And I feel the meanings are important to you, the collective. So if you find that anything in this video resonates with you, go ahead and leave a comment below to claim it. Leave a like. Share it if you feel like someone else could use the message. And let's go ahead and take a look at the interpretations. Or the videos. And then I'll go over the interpretations. Okay, so the first image that I received, okay, the hat came first. So this is kind of like those hats that you see in winter. Since it's winter, you should be seeing them places. Those old ski hats that hang over your ears. But this one has a Rudolph nose and antlers. Okay. It also has a retro refrigerator. And the person who owns the hat gave it antler ears. That was the message I got. But the fridge came with a devil horn. Or devil's horns on each side. One on each side. Okay. So this refrigerator is a magical refrigerator. That's the message that I got. It's the kind of refrigerator that whatever you put in it, something magical happens. Okay. So this winter hunter's hat that goes over your ears, there's meaning behind this. So let me go over those meanings with you. So this hat is a blend of personal power with heightened intuition. Do you see the antlers are the heightened intuition? Let me pull this down a little bit. And it's also a need to balance your strength with grace. Because deers and stags are very graceful. So temperance is really called for, okay? Or the person that owns this hat tries to balance their life with a lot of temperance. They try to keep the two sides of their life balanced with a good temperance, with grace and with strength. Now the Rudolph nose, okay, first off, the hat can represent authority, or hats can also represent the lack of authority, depending on how flat it is. You know, if it's not a top hat, top hats represent, a supreme authority. So this is some kind of authority, but it's a low authority or none at all. And this is about giving yourself leadership. So when if you have no authority and you give yourself a hat, you're giving yourself leadership. So this person, or whoever this is applying to, has given themselves authority, okay, to go ahead and keep a temperance in a situation that could be volatile. They may be living in a volatile home. Perhaps their parents, are fighters. They fight with each other, okay? Or perhaps there's a situation socially or politically around them. Something is volatile, and this person has given themselves authority to go ahead and keep that temperance and be the strong person in the ordeal. And with the nose, this is about shining in the face of adversity. Oh, that's exactly what it's like. This is like when our kids or, whoever is living in the situation decide, or the wife that is put down by the husband a lot, or vice versa. It could be the husband that's put down a lot by his boss, has decided to shine in the face of adversity and give themselves leadership and keep this and strength, leadership and strength, and keep the balance or the temperance in the situation. They've decided it doesn't have to go your way. It doesn't have to go down that dark alley. I'm going to shine on this, and it's going to go in a light direction. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. And bless all of you out there that have had to endure this and do this. You've found a personal strength, though, that is amazing. So you've done a beautiful job to be able to be enlightened enough, to be able to be mature enough to adapt yourself in that situation and take that strength. You've done amazing. So this is about someone who's done that. Now this refrigerator, okay, this magical refrigerator, has also, as you can see up here on the top, I'm thinking that maybe whoever was in control of this house had said nobody can have anything in their fridge. Okay, fine. But this person has given the fridge control, basically, this magical fridge, and said, you know, you're going to help keep temperance here too. You're going to help me with this authority and keep temperance here too. Now, let me see. One singular devil's horn is an incomplete threat, but this refrigerator, even though I didn't draw it, had two. So it is a balanced threat. It has a magical ability that has the power to oppose what's going on. So this refrigerator, I just got it. This refrigerator that was magical. It was a magical gift. Okay. And this person decided, like when you take your crystal and empower it for the use that you want it to be used for, this person decided, I'm going to tell you what you're going to be used for, fridge. I'm going to tell you. You're a magical fridge, and you come with a scary devil power. You could go farther and darker than the darkness in this house goes. But I'm going to go ahead and use your power this way. And I'm going to empower you to help me keep the balance in this house. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. So, I mean, he could have done anything. He could have been like, see ya later, bully, right? I've got the big bully fridge. I can do something with you and end this. But he decided to end it this way with his shining light. It makes me want to cry. It's so beautiful. Okay, and then that moved into, after that vision, I went ahead and saw some wolves. Now these wolves were like the retro Looney Tune wolves in the cartoons. Those fun looking wolves in the cartoons. So the big bad wolf, oh hold on, the retro fridge can symbolize emotional nourishment and a desire to revisit and preserve the past. And this big bad wolf, okay, is confronting powerlessness in waking life. Let me explain before I go on and tell you the definition of this wolf. Let me go ahead and explain more about this wolf. This wolf had a snout that was like an extended front end of a 1937 Buick sedan. If you can see that there. It had an extended front end. I couldn't draw it that way, but it was large and powerful looking. Just like a Buick sedan, a 1937 Buick sedan, but it was extended. Okay. And it had more of a fierce face, but I couldn't draw that for some reason. This is what came out in this one. I've got more wolves on the other side, but this is how this one came out when I tried to draw it. It's not what it looked like. It was very mature, strong and fierce looking, but this is how it came out when I drew it. But so anyway, so what it meant was confronting powerlessness in waking life. So looking at a threatening situation with nostalgia instead of looking at it in any other kind of force. Taking it and going, okay, let's see it with, nostalgia and lightheartedness. Okay, so somebody's, instead of taking that situation and saying, I'm going to address all these problems. No, you're looking at the heart of the situation. What's behind the heart? What's behind all of what is confrontational? So someone's looking at it, again, with their shining light. So pretty amazing, pretty powerful. However, the one thing I wanted to say is that This car can kind of represent wanting to be able to show up. Oh, here we go. The car, the Buick sedan, can be a desire for stability and peace. Okay, see, this person, their desire isn't hurt, harm, control, or, getting even and revenge. This person's desire is 100%, well, not 100%, but very strongly on the side of stability and peace that could favor their life's journey, because they don't want to have, that baloney to look back on. They'd rather transmute it, transform it at this point. So they're looking for stability, and they know they can't have stability if they got something under the page, right? Something under that page. It's just like, it's not a good foundation. They want a good foundation. So that's why they do this, okay? It's not because of the person that's confronting them. It's not that bully they're not doing it for the bully. They're doing it because they want stability and elegance in their life. They just don't want to be affected by that bully in the future. So this is about having the Buick is about having a slower, deliberate pace in life, controlling your personal direction, showing up the way you want to show up, right? And in control. Having the power, but in control of it. A nice hum of control. Woo! What a message. Okay, so then the next set was the next day, which was today. These are the images I got today. So the first one was this guy right here. This was a Looney Tune image as well. And this is a Mexico amigo in a sombrero. And it had very exaggerated lips. I'm sorry, it's the best I could do. And I know it looks like a coffee bean, a large coffee bean in the mouth, but that's kind of like what some of those retro pictures look like when you drew them, right? When they drew them. So the hombre, the amigo, is about protection and friendship. It's also about celebration. Okay, do you see all of this? It's the need to embrace a more carefree and festive attitude. That's what this guy represents, this little amigo. So, this person yesterday this person was growing up in this life and becoming a young man or whatever, and, or you people, a young lady, whatever, and trying to have your shining light on the situation and keeping your temperance. Keeping the cool. And this guy shows up, this amigo, telling you, hey, it's time to have some protection, some friendship, celebrate a little. You need to embrace a more carefree and festive attitude. And the word I got was, he took time to sit in the shade with the poppies. So he enjoyed the smell of the poppies. It was a forbidden thing. People weren't supposed to sit next to these poppies. I think they were marketable or whatever. But he took the time to sit there anyway. He took his moment. As we know, indigenous people, like even from Mexico, indigenous people, no medicine. And I don't mean like, because poppies, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking flowers, earth, nature. And he wanted to sit amongst the medicine for a little while. And he did. So that was good. Okay, the next image was this young man carrying one of those refrigerators down some stairs. So moving a refrigerator downstairs means that you have a need to cool down emotions and store away feelings and reduce the intensity of a situation. So there's a situation today, not yesterday. Yesterday was more nostalgia. Today there's a situation where the intensity needs to be reduced. Okay? Remember, the amigo came in first, so he told you what you needed to do. The conflict is getting away from that and going and cooling down. And then I got this image, okay? This is a devil with one horn and one goat ear. He looked older than this. He came out youthful in my drawing. I don't know why. I'm not the best artist. So a singular or incomplete threat. Do you see the horn? It's a singular or incomplete threat. The devil alone implies something deceptive. Okay? Since he was old in my image, in my download, it's an old threat that's still around. And there's some deception going on with it. Now the goat ear, let me explain that. Both of these, since there's one, there's an imbalanced threat. And over here, there's an imbalanced, hidden or wrong information. So here, there's hidden information or wrong information that somebody doesn't want to reveal the truth of. Okay, someone's hiding the truth about some info. And fear of being led astray with this ear. A negative thought that's not fully formed. So like they're holding back the information because they haven't really decided what bad thing they want to do yet. Also, they don't have both ears. They can't hear the truth. So while they're being deceptive, it's really hard to get through to these people because they don't have the ears to hear the truth. Okay? And this horn is an incomplete threat, okay, but it's also intense stress, anxiety, and an unbalanced personality. So you've got an unbalanced personality with someone trying to hide some truth that is so focused on it, they don't have the ears, the ability to listen to the truth or reason. Okay? They can't. Okay, so then we moved on to, I think we saw this one. I saw this one first. And this was a British wolf, the retro wolf, Looney Tune wolf. And he was carrying a file cabinet like this, a long file cabinet. Okay. So the file box is a need to organize or store or address repressed emotional memories and responsibilities. So you're holding on to some responsibilities of the past. And it's time to store those in order, like go through them and go, okay, if there's nothing I can do about it, I'm going to have to make peace. Okay. And with your emotions, there you go. You got to make some peace with some things in your past. Your own emotions or memories. And again, we know what the wolf represents. Being powerless in waking life. See a hat with no authority. He might have a position in society, amongst friends or whatever. He's got a label, but he's powerless. And it's about looking at threatening situations with nostalgia and lightheartedness. So look at him. He's being lighthearted. He's carrying around his box of memories and emotions, and he needs to sort them. He's just gotta sort that stuff. And then finally, this really ties it all together. This is a stand that I saw with IV bags. And I was like, okay, 2 IV stands right next to each other. What does that mean? So in Roman numerals, that's a 4 and a 4. So 2 emperors, I was thinking. It represents 2 emperors that maybe go to the hospital together sometimes. Or they've got paid for rooms right next to each other at the hospital. I don't know, but emperor is what I was seeing with the number. Now, about what those IV stands mean. The stands themselves are a need for healing, replenishment, or an infusion of energy that's needed in your life. So you need to bring some energy into your life because your life is depleted of it right now. You're on the negative end of that. So you are in exhaustion, and there's 2 of you. two emperors that are in exhaustion, two emperors that need an infusion of energy immediately, two emperors that need replenishment and healing. Hold on. These two emperors won't slow down even though they have no energy. Okay, they just won't say, we need to do something about this. So somebody's going to have to force these two to slow down before their bodies force them to slow down. That's the message of it. And it happens every time. That seems to be their cycle. They don't slow down until someone makes them slow down. They just keep going with no energy. It's not good. They run on exhaustion. Okay, so those are the messages we got. And basically what we're seeing here is a wonderful, empowering soul. They got a gift to get him out of his situation and say, hey, look, this person has treated you, broken the rules. And the rules has broken how you should treat somebody, so here you go. Here's a fridge. Do what you want to do. And he's like, wait a second. I know what I could do with this. And he empowered it in a more empowering way, that this refrigerator became a wonderful magical tool of his shining grace. Okay? And stability. He wanted stability. And the other way, he wouldn't have had it. And that's what shows in this Buick sedan snout on this wolf. Okay? Wanting that stability. Wanting to be able to show up the way he wants to show up. He's being told, whoever this is, he or she is being told, that they really need to find their friendships, know that they've got protection in their friendships and use that protection, celebrate, and embrace a more carefree, festive attitude. Take a moment, in other words, to set amongst the poppies. To take shade. Sorry, not set amongst. To take shade amongst the poppies. Taking shade. Okay? He wasn't sitting like in the field with them. He was like sitting on steps next to these poppies. The devil is a threat altogether. It's imbalance. It's inability to hear the truth. The one thing I didn't state was what the devil was doing. See his staring eyes? The one thing he was saying, he was actually saying something, and it was, I want to look at you in the eyes. So, not good when he's imbalanced, right? So, I don't know what that's about. He wants to look at you in the eyes. But he can't hear the truth. The devil is an impending threat, and his power is imbalanced. And over here, if you take your rest amongst the poppies, it's that you've got to come to terms with your emotions on your past. And if you're one of these two emperors, or if you're like one of these two emperors, you need to start noting when you need to take a rest. And when you need to cool down. Okay? There's a situation that isn't cooling down, so you need to take your magic, you see? Take your magic and your beautiful self and move on away from that horrible situation and go cool down. Okay, let's pull a couple of tarot cards to confirm on all this stuff. Oh, I don't even know what deck to use. I really don't. We'll just use an old traditional looking deck, and we'll pull a card straight from the middle. Well, we're going to redo that. Okay, here's a card. Queen of Swords. So with Queen of Swords, we've got communication is the key for you. And your thoughts. So come to terms with your thoughts. Get on your throne. You already know the truth about your situation. And know when someone's being deceptive. Okay? You know the signs. You've seen it your whole life. You know when someone's being deceptive. Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a little bit like this right here. Okay, you've got your energy out there, but now you might need to replenish. Okay, you may be at that point where you're looking for your replenishment coming in, and it's not come in yet, but because you've put all your creativity out there. So I think we're getting lots of... I'm going to switch decks really quick because this one's... Oh, I don't know. Where's that other one? Can't find it, and I can't just keep digging. So let's see what else we've got. Round and round. So we are doing cycles, triggers, lessons. Cycles, triggers, lessons. Cycles, triggers, lessons. You began this whole thing, okay, your whole life. I think you began here. And because you didn't use it as an ending, you know, some of those cycles have tried to return, but you have the same answers that you've always had. Okay, your shining light is what stops these cycles and transmutes them. These people that keep recycling do not have the intelligence or the ears to hear or the balance to understand how to watch their temperaments, how to be better people. Honestly, they may seem like they're a pain in your life, but without you, they would never, ever get balanced, ever. Some of these people have massive regrets, but I think you have massive regrets because you've allowed yourself to be vulnerable before. Oh my gosh, we're going through the memories. Yeah, massive regrets. You've got memories. You're going to be sorting those. Maybe it's time to block a few people that might be spamming the heck out of you. You do you, whatever you need to do. But if you're getting spammed, you know, don't let it take your energy. You could still block and protect your energy. You know how to do that. Okay? Even if you don't want to block them on your phone. I think you're a very caring person and you're trying, you like are handling a whole lot. A whole lot. Let's get you one of these oracle cards. Time for you to be still. Take your fridge from that dangerous spot. Cool down. Be still. And who told you that? Who's the one that told you that? Your amigo. Your sombrero amigo told you. It's time to be still. It's time for some beauty routine. You need to replenish yourself. You're not doing that. You might not even be looking that good right now. It's time. Do some sound healing, resonate with the universe, okay? You already know how to do that because the universe has, wow, it magically balanced you. You're pretty balanced. And you know how to chant what you believe and who you are for positivity. You know what you're doing. Maybe say goodbye to a few things. You know, things that are stressing you out. Forgive yourself. Do a burning bowl ritual. Aromatherapy after that, and you should be cleared. But you got to restore your energy. So you need to look at a way to do that. Definitely. Chanting, sound healing, some beauty, self-care routine, and being still. Okay? And keep up this wonderful balance. You're amazing.